Don't pass me, oh gentle Savior. Please hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by.
Greetings from hot Phoenix, Arizona. I am Jeffrey Walker, minister of the Tonto Street Church of Christ, and this is another motivational moment. All of us can appreciate good customer service. We love it when we have gratitude shown by those who may be serving us, whether it's in a restaurant, it could be in a store, could be even at the bank. A smile, a thank you, come back again, all of those things are intangible, and we welcome them. And it makes us feel like we're recognized, that we're if nothing else, we're important at that particular time. And this reminds me of a story about a man who went to visit his bank. His name is John Barrier. John, unpretentious, he drives an old pickup truck, and he's typically not the best dressed person, but he is a person. He's a human being. And he just happened to be going to his bank to see his broker in the bank. They're in the same building. And after his visit was over, he went out to the parking lot and proceeded to drive off. And the attendant shared with him, said, there is no more free parking. But if you're a customer at that bank, they would be more than glad to validate your ticket, and then your parking would be free. And John said, well, yeah, I'm a customer of the bank. So he went in and he approached the teller and asked very politely, would it be possible that I get my ticket validated? The teller looked him up and down and saw the way that he was dressed and said to him, no, I can't. You might want to talk to one of our managers. So John, he went over, and the manager was new to him, and he asked the same question. He says, would it be possible to get my ticket validated? And the manager told him, no. The only people who can have their tickets validated are customers of this bank, and they would have to complete a transaction. So John is upset at this time, and didn't feel as though he was getting good customer service. And he said, you know what, I will make a transaction. So he filled out his withdrawal slip, went over to the teller, and he withdrew all of his money out of that bank, which was more than $1 million. And then he got his ticket validated. John took his money to a bank just a block away and deposited his funds. You may ask, well, why in the world am I telling this story? Well, there are some spiritual implications to us as Christians on how we view people, how we make assumptions about what we see, and not seeing people as a soul that needs saving. The Hebrew writer reminds us in Hebrews, the 13th chapter and the 2nd verse, that we have to be ever mindful how we entertain strangers. For he goes on to say, for in our entertaining of these strangers, we have entertained angels unaware. James says it this way. He says, beware of favoritism. He says it that, my brothers and sisters, do not show favoritism as you hold on to the faith in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ. For if someone comes into our meeting, into our assembly, coming to church, wearing a gold ring and dressed in fine clothes, and a poor person, shabbily dressed, could be like John, also comes in, if you look with favor on the one wearing the fine clothes and you say to that person, sit here in a good place, and yet you say to this poor shabbily dressed person, you won't stand here in the back or sit here on the floor next to my footstool. He said, haven't you made distinctions among yourself and become judges with evil thoughts? We gotta be careful. He says, listen, we have to be mindful, he says here in verse number 8, that we fulfill the royal law, which is this: we should love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And he said, if you do this, we're doing well. We're doing the right thing. He said, if, however, you show favoritism, he says you are committing sin by the law as transgressors. We as Christians need to be very careful that we do not make a mistake that is greater than $1 million. The bank lost a valued customer. He took his deposits somewhere else. But what about us? If we don't treat strangers right who come into our midst, that they miss out on hearing the gospel of Jesus Christ and knowing the pardoning of their sins, and they leave us in their unsaved condition, that would certainly be a tragedy. So I say to you, as I say to myself, be mindful so that we do not make $1 million mistake. This lesson is yours, and I pray that God would be with you. So, until the next time that we have the opportunity to spend time, my prayer for you is that you might be blessed. And because you have been blessed, go out into this mean, cruel world and be a blessing to other people.
Savior, blessed Savior, please hear my cry on others thou art calling.